Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Scrapbook Nerd. And this week we're working with this color challenge to create all our projects. So for this particular layout, I went very simple, and I'm gonna actually use VIcki Boutin acrylic pop paints. The card files are from my friend Ina from Handipaper, and I addition a few, but I'm gonna go with the flowers. But most of this background is gonna be built with the paint, and it's going to be pretty much the focus of this layer. So what I'm doing right now is I just have an idea of what I want. I think I want the picture to be sandwiched in between the cut files. So I'm going with the florals because I love florals, and this is my cousin when we were on vacation in Ecuador. She's just standing at the beach. We had perfect days when we're at the beach. So I took a few shots of her, and the shirt that she's wearing actually matches the fuchsia that is in the color board. That's why I pulled it out of my library. So to build the background, to get to that turquoise that you see in there, I'm going to mix a little bit of blue Hawaiian acrylic pop paint. These are from VIcki Boutin, with a little bit of white paint. That's just from my stash. And I'm going to use a flat brush. And you're going to see that I mixed a little bit of white because I know that I have like a white background. This is marshmallow cardstock from Basel, and it's a double cardstock, which means 120 pounds. So it's going to withhold mixed media a little much better than just plain cardstock. And when I added my French stroke, I realized it's a little bit too much on the green. I need to add some blue just to make it that true turquoise. So I'm bringing saltwater toffee and I'm mixing them together. It's going to give me that perfect color. But you're going to see that when I add it, you're going to see a lot of streaks. But at the end, you're not going to see it. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I spent time creating this background. First of all, I mixed the colors together, and then I'm going to add a tiny little bit of water. Now, I have not yeso the background. I'm not explaining to you along the way why I did things. When you add yeso to your page, unless you are clear yeso, yeso has, even though it's white, can make white paper look yellow. Okay, so I didn't want that. I want the purity of the white. I want the background to look, I don't know if you've ever seen digital scrapbooking. The backgrounds have those beautiful edges that look like feathers, and I want to create that onto my page using the mixed media. And that's one of the reasons why I'm adding just the tiniest amount of water to the paint that I'm mixing, and that's just going to make it more fluid. And what that's going to help me is just not have that much of a defined brush stroke, but actually create that true feathering effect towards the edges of the mixed media. So what I'm going to do is I'm mixing the colors together. I'm mixing the three. You're going to see when I put them down, you can see the little it's not combined properly, so you can see little colors all mixed up together. And then I'm adding a tiny little bit of water, and I mean every time I mix the colors, it's just one spray, or I'm dipping the tip of my brush in my little bowl of water. Then I'm gonna go from the center and just go on one single motion. In this case, I'm going up and down, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna deposit most of my paint right on the center. Now the secret for this is you're gonna go lightly with your brush strokes. So don't go like and just put a lot of pressure, go lightly and try to start at the middle and then just kind of up and down from there. And because you have that tiny amount of water, it's going to make the paint more fluid. It's going to help you drag it longer. Now, once you have that, and you're going to see that my center column is really saturated with the pigment, I am actually going to start creating the feathering effect. So the first thing I'm going to do, you're going to see that I'm going to flip the page. And then I'm just going to go in one single motion. I'm just completing right now my background. And then I want the feathering effect to go to the top. So I'm going to mix the paint, and I'm going to start from the center, just up, brush strokes up. And you're going to see, because I have that, I'm going to say a little bit more viscous of paint, it's just going to create a feathering effect. And I'm going to do the same to the bottom. So starting from the center down, and light brush strokes, super light, so that you just kind of like lightly depositing the paint on the background. And that's going to give you the feathering effect, that shadowy effect that looks so nice. You're going to see it. It looks like just like it showed up in the center. Okay, so once I have that in place, and I'm happy what it looks like, if you put that tiny little bit of water, you won't even see that you started at the center of the column, because you're able to drag the paint a little bit more. Now it's up to you. You can also yeso the background, and that's completely fine. But just remember that when you're using yeso, if it's not clear yeso on a white cardstock, you're going to see the difference between the white cardstock and the yeso. Now, before my background dries, I'm going to add splatter. And what I did to my splatters is you're going to see that I brought a little bit of the blue Hawaiian, diluted it with some water, and I'm just adding splatters. I'm going to add splatters to pretty much all around the edges, but especially to the corners. And you're going to see that that's just going to create more of that shadowy effect, and I love it. And if you've seen my work, then you guys know that I love splatters. So, but what I'm going to do too is by adding the splatters is I'm going to create kind of a ghost effect on the paint on the central column that I added. You're going to see that once I add it, I'm going to go ahead and with a piece of paper towel and dry it out. So I add a little bit, and then once I'm like, I added my color, I'm going to go ahead and add more water. And it could be clean water, it can be a little bit of paint, doesn't matter. All the water is going to do is kind of chew up a little bit of the paint that you have on top because it's still fresh. It's just going to make it liquid. So when you go with the paper and soak it up, it's going to take out the paint. So it's going to create like a bleach effect. And I'm going to set that aside for now. Now I'm going to start playing with some of the colors that I see on the mood board just to create the layers behind the picture. So I'm bringing this red paper that's from the Flower Market collection from Carta Bella. I'm going to play with the It's All Good collection from Dear Lizzy. I'm going to bring the Saturday Afternoon, I think it is, collection from One Canoe 2, and I really had those yellow, orangey, red tones, but really vibrant, so it makes it really summer instead of fallish, and I had a little bit more muted in the fall. And I'm just gonna create a few layers. Now after the red, I was thinking about adding yellow and then orange, but I thought it was too much. So you're gonna see that I'm just gonna add that strip of, not strip, but like a layer of the yellow paper, and then I'm gonna go for something a little bit more teal, so like it kind of started blending into the background. And I found this 4x6 card in I got actually the paper pad from Scrapbook Nerd, and this had a little bite. So I cut it, the 4x6 card, and then I cut it in the middle so it fits right at the edge of the picture. Now that I have that in place, I added some foam adhesive behind it, and my mistake was to take off the glue part, so it's gonna start gluing onto everything. But I'm gonna glue it straight onto my layer. Now I'm just going to start playing with the positioning of the picture. My idea was to have it in the middle, but when I started adding the cut files and I had cut two of the same size and one a little bit smaller, I realized that because there's all the white space on the right hand side of the picture, I want to kind of lower the picture a little bit towards the left bottom corner. So I'm going to add the smaller cut file as a layer, kind of like sandwich it in between the layers, and then I'm going to add one of the bigger ones towards the right hand side of the picture, kind of a diagonal design. Just go, it balances the layout. I think that have all the white space, it can actually take that bigger cut file, but I have like most of my image where my cousin standing. I want something smaller so the attention remains on my cousin. When I have that in place, you can see that a little piece of foam adhesive behind the flowers just to keep them in place. Now this title, I actually pulled it out from last year's collection from One Canoe 2, and I can remember the name of the collection, but it was just the perfect name. It was Sun-Kissed Dream. And then I'm going to bring stickers and embellishments from the It's All Good collection. I'm bringing a lot of the chipboard because it has those yellow, orangey, red tones. I'm going to bring some stickers, and these are from the One Canoe 2 sticker sheet. I am going to bring a lot of those hearts you're going to see me add are actually from the chipboard from the It's All Good collection. And after that, you're going to see that I am actually going to make sure that I glue it because I add all the mixed media. I'm going to make sure that to make sure the title stays in place, I'm going to add a little bit of glue. Remember, a lot of things don't like to stick to mixed media. So you got to make sure to add a little bit of glue on the background just to make sure it stays in place. Now I'm bringing a few embellishments from the Joyful Day collection from Pink Fresh Studio just because it had that reddish kind of orangey tone. And then I'm going to bring a little camera, but I'm going to stash it on behind the picture because it has the same tone as the background. And again, I'm going to bring a lot of gold accents. Now these are ribbons from the One Canoe 2 collection, and it's a matte rose gold, but I thought it was perfect just because I'm playing with all those warm tones. You're gonna see that I'm gonna cut these little, I'm gonna say triangles that look like chevrons, and I'm just gonna add them to different parts of the layout just to bring my attention there. So I'm gonna put some behind where the little camera is at. I'm gonna add some to where the title's at, some to where the little cluster that I created at the top corner of the picture is gonna go. I'm gonna save some to where I add my lines of journal. But as I'm working with this, I realized that I need to add something onto the right just to balance it. I have a lot of white space. So my idea is I'm gonna cut a strip of paper, but I wanna back it with paper that has the same tones. I wanna bring some of those yellow, pink, and reddish tones. So I'm going through the 12 by 12 paper pad from One Canoe 2. This is the Saturday afternoon collection, and I really like this paper with all the hexagons of colors. Especially was when I put it on top of I put my layout on top, I realized that one side had all the yellows and oranges and the other side had the blue. So I'm gonna say around a half an inch from the right hand side of the layout, and then I'm just gonna make sure that when I glue it onto the paper, most of the layout sits towards the left, so just a little bit of the blue lines show up, but a lot of the yellow and the orange show up on the other side. But before I do that, I'm just going to distress the edges a little bit, just so make sure that it lifts a little bit from the background. And that's pretty much it. You're going to see right now that I'm going to glue it. And I was thinking about stitching it, but I didn't want to. I wanted the edges to just glue nicely. Kind of the waves that are showing in the picture. I wanted something really soft. I didn't want to stitch it. That's all I just wanted to keep it like that, like kind of rough. And then I'm just going to start folding the edges. But I realized that I need to create another, I'm going to say another cluster. So all you're going to see me do is kind of roll one of the top edges of the layout just to create, it creates like a little roll on the paper. And I'm just going to add a cluster of stickers. I'm using some stickers from the One Canoe 2 collection. I'm using some stickers from the, I think this is Dear Lizzy's It's All Good collection. I'm going to staple them together. It's going to help me to keep the roll together. And then I'm going to bring another sticker from last year's One Canoe 2 collection, the same one that I used the title. I can't remember the name right now. I'm going to add more of the little triangles or chevrons, the ribbons. And then once I have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and start adding my lines to journal. And I think I'm going to put them right underneath the picture. So you're going to see first thing, I'm going to add the little ribbon. And then I'm going to bring one of my white jelly pens. And I actually got this all from Scrapbook Nerd, and add my lines to journal. Now and then I'm going to add some gold color shine, because I have all that gold all over the stickers and everything. So I'm going to bring a little bit of shine to my layout. And then I had a few enamel dots on the side. I used them from another project and didn't like it. And this all come from the Tutti Frutti collection. Some come from Pink Fresh Studio, from the Glamour collection from my Mind's Eye, some from Simple Stories, and they're all available Scrapbook Nerd because I actually ordered them, all of them. So I know Joy loves me for that. And I hope you try this. If you have any questions on how this came together, do not hesitate to contact me. I hope you look for everything that I used is available Scrapbook Nerd. This all came from the store. And don't forget to check it out. Don't forget to check the color challenge. I'm sure Joy is going to create a challenge for you guys to join. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.